Hey guys, in this video I'm just going to go over a few different ways to maintain a positive mindset while in solo queue. Now a lot of this stuff is based on this book right here, Mental Game of Poker, that got recommended to me. Really good book, especially if you're feeling a bit lost in terms of solo queue or anything to do with CS. To be honest, is very related to poker, so give this book a read. And I'm going to talk a lot about the concepts in this book. The first one we're going to talk about is reframing failure as data. So you should shift your perspective on losing rounds or making mistakes by viewing them as pretty much raw data. So instead of feeling bad about losing, just ask yourself, like, what does this teach me about my decision making, my timings, my map control, my ability to take map control? Pretty much reframing failure helps disassociate negative emotions from the outcome. So you got to embrace failure as part of growth. I know it sounds silly, but even pros face setbacks, and they refine their skills by understanding why they failed rather than being defeated by it. So learning from what you've actually done, instead of just feeling an emotion from something that you've done bad, you're instead thinking about physically what did you do that was wrong that you could improve at. Next one is mindful adaptability. Now, solo queue often requires you to be adaptable, as you can't always predict your teammates.
Green, what's your problem, Green? What is your problem?
Their movements and decisions. So you need to train yourself to stay flexible and open-minded. Now, this happens a lot. Your team ignores you, or doesn't execute on a call you've made. Instead of becoming frustrated, adapt to the situation and find ways to make the most of the chaos. Like if you notice one of your teammates is just always pushing B apps every round, organize a B split so you guys go up short while your teammate pushes B apps. Like you can make the most of these teammates even when they're making bad decisions. You should first try and control your teammates to come with you for executes and to listen to what you're saying. But then if that doesn't work, then you kind of have to problem solve and switch your mindset a bit to, we'll make the most of this guy. He's not calming, he's not listening, he's just pushing B apps every round. So let's make the most of this in the call that you're making. Just quickly before we continue the video, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor, csgoskins.com. CSGO Skins is an opening site with a variety of different cases and modes. The site offers free giveaways daily, and if you want to battle your friends or other users, join the case battle mode. And if you have multiple skins and want to trade them up to a better skin, check out the exchanger on csgoskins.com. Also check the link in the description and sign up with the code SAVAGE for 50 cents free balance and an extra 10% deposit bonus. Also quickly guys, if you use my code SAVAGE and deposit $2 onto the site, you'll be entered into a giveaway for these Hydra Gloves Emerald. Now let's get back to the video. Now I always encourage you to lead the game and make calls based on what you think, and not just staying silent in the game and being really active and taking that edge over your opponents where they might not have someone on the other team calling. They might just be all running around, whereas you can call A rush, B rush, mid. You can tell your teammates to flash for you, molly for you, smoke for you, and this will give you that edge that you want to get in solo queue when you don't have a team or previous practice with a group of 4. That might sound pretty self-explanatory, but you need to try and get every edge you can get. So yeah, when things aren't going as planned, shift your energy towards thinking of solutions rather than focusing on what should have happened. You should have emotional agility while in solo queue, so learn to acknowledge negative emotions like frustration, anger, or disappointment without letting them cloud your judgment. Remain calm, refocused, and grounded while you play. Now you got to trust the process and not focus too much on immediate results. Like solo queue can be inconsistent. Sometimes you'll lose because of factors outside of your control. So focus on trusting your long-term improvement process rather than being obsessed with the outcome of each game. Keeping track of personal improvements such as communication, clarity, your util usage, and smarter peaks helps build confidence in yourself and helps to aid in the bigger picture of your development as a player. And this one's interesting, but you need to use your negative teammates' mental training. Use their negativity as a tool to practice keeping calm and maintaining focus. Look at it as a challenge rather than a hindrance. A lot of people say to mute toxic players instantly. I disagree. I think instead of instantly muting toxic teammates, try kind of kill them with kindness, which in turn can kind of stop these people or reverse them from their big tilt that they're on, and it can actually help you win the game compared if you just muted them. So try this in your games. If you have a toxic person, try and be nice to them, convert them, and another thing is if you just mute them, then they're not going to listen to you, right? When your calls, say you're on CT side, they've tilted, you be nice to them. When you get to that T side, when you make some calls, they're going to actually listen to you. So another thing people don't do very well is accepting chaos and actually have fun in that chaos. So solo queue often introduces kind of random chaotic situations that can frustrate a lot of players who prefer structure. This happens a lot of my coaching clients, but I encourage them to shift their mindset from thinking all of their teammates should be perfect and play like they do to a mindset of learning how to thrive in the unpredictability. Viewing these chaotic situations as opportunities, kind of problem solving in the game, can help you develop game sense and decision making skills under pressure, and it turns that kind of potential frustration into a form of growth. So as I said, this book, great book if you want to read it, Mental Game of Poker. In the book, they talk about mental leaks. So Jared Tendler talks about mental leaks, which are patterns of thinking or emotions that negatively impact performance. In solo queue, try to identify mental leaks like entitlement, I should be winning because I'm better, frustration with teammates, or overconfidence. By recognizing these thoughts, you can focus on maintaining control and recalibrating your mindset during the game. So an actionable tip you can do is identify your personal tilt triggers. So for some people, it's poor communication from teammates or a bunch of unlucky rounds in a row. So once you're aware of those triggers, you can consciously avoid letting those triggers pull you in a downward spiral. So in poker, Tendler talks about variance, which is the concept that short-term outcomes don't always reflect long-term skill. Now solo queue is similarly unpredictable, as your teammates, enemy behavior, and game dynamics can kind of change wildly from match to match. Understanding variance helps you detach from immediate results and avoid overreacting to a bad game or a bad loss streak. Instead of fixating on winning or losing, evaluate how well you executed key aspects of your play. So did you take map control effectively and correctly? With util, did you waste util? Did you communicate effectively? Did you position yourself well so you barely even had to use any aim tips or anything? You literally were just shooting him in the side of the head. Focusing on those metrics allow you to stay positive even in defeat. So the A game, C game concept, I love this concept because it relates to me probably the most in the whole book. And what it is the A game is your optimum performance, and your C game is when you're performing poorly. Now that sounds simple, but in solo queue, it's critical to know when you're slipping into your C game and take steps to reduce your tilt and lift the level of your play when you're playing at your C game. The goal, obviously, is to always play your A game, but that isn't possible. You can't always play your A game. But what is possible is to lift your C game. So I love to focus on lifting my C game when I feel I'm at my C game and I'm feeling emotional or I'm feeling angry at the game or any kind of negative emotions. I try and manage them, which then in turn helps manage my C game. If I feel like my aim's off, okay, I'll do a bit more aim prac before the game to really get myself warm. Or maybe when I'm having one of the worst C games ever and I feel like I'm lagging and the game feels slow and there's been new updates, my FPS is down and I feel like I can't headshot anyone, I'll even mentally go, okay, I'm playing really bad, so I'm going to go for more body shots and more consistent kills, because I know the headshots, if I go for them and I miss, I'm just going to get more and more tilt. So that's kind of an example of like, that's more of a Z game, but you need to be able to recognize your C game quickly, and when you feel that frustration or hesitation creeping in, you just take a deep breath and focus on your simple kind of consistent plays and stick to the fundamentals of your good positioning, your utility use, and just even playing for trade. This helps lift your C game closer to your A game, because that's the goal. A key concept in performing in solo queue is just staying focused on the present, rather than letting the past mistakes or the future outcomes affect your mindset. So in Counter-Strike, dwelling on a lost round or worrying about the match's outcome is never going to help you and can only negatively impact your performance. I encourage any of my coaching clients or anyone who watches me to adopt a present focused mindset, which is essential for performing under pressure. So staying in the present, not even thinking about any outcomes or being outcome dependent. So even between rounds, if you feel like you're getting a bit tilt, just mentally reset yourself by telling yourself, new round, fresh opportunity. I do this sometimes when you're in a big game, you feel tilt before the round out instantly. As soon as you respawn back and spawn, instant mental reset. I've taught myself to do this. Thanks for watching, guys. I have a coaching program link below, and I'm also running a Medify class, which is also linked below. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.